Hello there, everyone. Today I want to talk about the importance of my faith in business. I've been doing that on many of these series, but the importance of my faith in the context of really recognizing and making a distinction between what's going on. And today, faith in business, specifically when it comes to what typically people maybe shouldn't say, is not said, but actually exists. And that is good and evil. Yes, there is a good and evil, and oftentimes people don't talk about it, but they do know that they experience good and evil. And it was only until I really began to embrace faith and then look at how faith could be actually applied in the business that I realized there's an actual good and evil, and that I should be very aware of good and evil, because in the end of the day, that once you make those recognitions, then you'll know perhaps how you might be able to handle and work through those things. So it's not just good and great or good and bad, but there is a good and evil. And maybe in our business vernacular, oftentimes when we talk about bad, people talk about something being toxic. And I realized in my journey in business, where we would be in meetings and things would be moving along, and you would see a person struggling, and you would see people not really attuned to the character and the culture of the company, and they would be disruptive. And oftentimes you might hear a person say, well, they're just having a bad day. Or you may even hear it in our business, where most of our business was transacted over the phone. And so you wouldn't meet the people, but you would talk to them over the phone. And we had actually hundreds, if not thousands, of vendors in our database that we never met. But you could talk to them over the phone and you would have an experience. And I'm going to say, in many cases, a not so pleasant experience. And we would simply say that they were having a bad day. And some of these bad days, though, and I can say this firsthand, even with staff that I had, staff that reported to me, their bad day was hurtful. And hurtful, that could be in words, it could be hurtful in deeds, it could be hurtful in performances, but they were hurtful. But what really I would call the distinctive is beyond hurtful would be when things are actually destructive. And that's where faith is very, very important, is for me, that has helped me, and perhaps it will help you. Why is it important? Because at the end of the day, everybody, typically is striving and looking for that perfect place or good place to work. And so in that context, you are either providing or making a contribution toward a great culture, or you are impacting that culture. And so are you impacting it because there's good, or you're impacting it because we'll say bad, but it could actually be destructive, and there's many destructive scenarios, and we have to call it what it is. But then we also want to know how we can handle that, how we to get through it. And prior to faith, not only was it a struggle for me to get through those things, but I found myself in a place of retaliating, or you can find yourself running, or you created, you threw gasoline on a fire. So a person's having a bad day, and because I didn't know how to handle the bad day, or didn't have a charge, or didn't have a command on this is what you're to do when an individual is having a bad day, or something is actually bad, or we say toxic and is evil, here is how you are to handle it. I do want to challenge us with the thought process in this whole context of, how do I make a distinction of what is, again, too frequently people struggle with, is there a right or a wrong, good or evil? So let me see if I can have you hold on to this. Is it leading to life? Is it life-giving? Is what I'm saying or my actions producing or leading to life, something that could be perpetuated? Or is my actions uh, death and destruction? Does it have a end? Is it destroying? Is it taking down? And so, for example, let's just take something simple if you were trying to coach somebody um, and they're making mistakes, it doesn't matter why, things are not working out. And the way in which I'm trying to help them, is it building them up? That's life giving. Or is it tearing them down? That will be death. And I understand people say progressive discipline, but I do want to challenge us, and this is part of the culture. Am I saying things that is imparting life or looking to cause a person to be better? Or am I saying something that is tearing that person down because you're trying to get a point across? They've done things that are not productive, not healthy, and so I'm trying to get a point across, and that, in doing so, is leading to death. And then in some cases, I could become so focused and pointed on making sure I get the point across that I do so, and it's in a destructive manner. I laugh when people said, at times I've heard someone say, well, can I be brutally honest? And I said, well, you could be honest, but does it have to be brutal? And so faith in business has given me the guidelines, has given me the roadmap, has given me quite frankly, the barriers of teaching me, informing me, and telling me which way I should go, how to handle circumstances and situations, and how to make sure that what I'm doing is building up, or at least hopes to, or leads to life, and is not moving and leading toward death. And that's why understanding if something is good or evil is very, very important. And so in that context, I at least want to share with us that faith has given me and informed me that, there should be a set of values. And you would hope that those values are life-giving, that they are intended to be favorable. They're intended to move forward, even when things go wrong. So if something breaks, here's how you fix it, as opposed to when something breaks, throw it away. Or when something breaks, take an animal goes off the path, and then you want to beat it. Do you want to beat it back on the path, or do you want to show it a way to lead it back on the path? And so faith in business has informed me and has been so critical to help me understand how to move, because a lack of this faith, this was for me, meant that there was no morals. I had no values. I could treat people however I wanted to. I could do whatever I wanted to do, say whatever I wanted to say. And then, of course, the problem with that is you have other people who may have no faith in business. And so then you have a very, in this regard, what we say and what you might say, a toxic environment. And so it's not just a bad day and bad scenarios that people may find themselves in, but they actually, some things are actually evil. And I've had people who have worked with me, I've worked with, and I have really had to call it what it is. And it's important to say, well, no, that's evil, is meant to take down. And we can't continue to live in a world where good is called evil and evil is called good. So I struggled over the many years until I came to how faith actually works in business and is to apply itself to how am I to respond? What is, see, this is the difference when faith is in business, and when you say that there's a person, you have a relationship with a person, and then I'm supposed to walk utilizing my faith and what I understand his commands are in business, then what does that look like when I'm in a toxic environment. Because the one thing that you want to create, you don't want to have people working in an organization because they have to. Well, I'm here, it is toxic, but I'm here because I have to be here, versus well, I'm here because I want to be here. And that's why having a good environment and a great environment is very, very important in understanding the difference between good and evil. And when evil, and here's my landing place that we finally land this plane, when evil shows its ugly head, and it shall, faith, my faith, the faith that I'm speaking about, that was so important to me and so critical and made all the difference in my life. It said that you don't be overcome by evil. So don't let evil overcome you, but overcome evil with good. And so when we saw things, woke up one day and we had people in our organization that didn't necessarily share our values, somehow we didn't do our due diligence, or something changed. And my faith also says that you don't repay evil back for evil. So I'm not going to do to you what you did to me, and I'm not going to come back out and take revenge. But it said actually to overcome evil with good. And that just changed everything in our business and the outcome of our business. And it created a great culture. And just to give me one part, I will give you one part of the example, that when we had a vendor that it was a deteriorated relationship, and they were looking to put something out on the street, give bad publicity on our organization. And what we tried to do, this was the overcome evil with good. We tried to be a blessing to them. We brought them in, let's talk about this, let's reason. Let me figure out how I can pay you better. Let me figure out how I can do this better, to try to overcome the evil that was trying to permeate and be divisive, and overcome it with good. That is the difference between no faith in business and what I'm challenging us to embrace, faith in business. And faith in my business and life has been a game changer and has led me to mental stability, great mental health, and over time, it has made us a profitable organization, both profitable as people and profitable on the bottom line. And so that's what I challenge you to embrace, is put your faith, this faith, to operation in your business. I'll see you next time.